What's going on? Welcome to another edition of RPO College Football Podcast. I'm Jerome Jones, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good. I know. Y'all all looking at me like, what is going on with the glasses? Ray came on. He was like, Jerome, what's up with the glasses? And you know what I told him? That sun is shining so bright in Philly right now that from Atlanta that I had to shield my eyes because it's so bright from Philly. Like, what's up? Like, let's go. I gotta give a shout out to my Philly guys, man. The Phillies balling. They're 2-1 right now in the World Series. My Philadelphia Eagles are 7-0 right now. Look at it. I said my boy's going crazy right now. I'm loving what Philly's doing right now, man. I'm loving it. Ray, man, you got some key pieces on your team with the Miami Dolphins, and you know me and Ray feeling it right now. I meant to send you the sunglasses, right? I apologize, but I didn't mean to send that to you, sir. But you know, I just wanted to switch it up, man. I was feeling good today, but let's get into our first topic because this is something I'm actually kind of pissed off about. So we're gonna talk about it right here because I'm gonna actually. The sunglasses for me, so y'all don't see my eyes, because I'm about to say something that I would never say again. I'm never going to say again. But so stay tuned. We're going to talk about it in a second. But let's get into our first topic, guys, and we're going to get into the college football rankings are revealed. Ray, I know you seen them yesterday. I'm gonna say the top five. I'm not gonna say anybody else. I'm gonna say the top five. Number 1. Tennessee. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Clemson. And number 5, Michigan. Number 6, I'm going to say 6 too. Nick, I'm going to say 6 and 7. Number 6, Alabama. Number 7, TCU. I'm going to say it again. Number 1, Tennessee. 2, Ohio State. 3, Georgia. Number 4, Clemson. Number 5, Michigan, and number 6, Alabama. Number 7 is TCU. Ray, looking at that ranking, how are you feeling about this today?
Well, Tennessee beat Alabama, so even though I don't think they should be that high, but I mean, I'm not going to fight with it. It is what it is. We all know that the rankings are the rankings, and they don't really care what we think. So it's all good.
Yeah.
I think that Clemson is a good team. I think they're a flawed team, though.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have them that high, but again, they don't care what I think. So,
okay, I'm gonna get a little rant because Tennessee being number 1, I get it, and I'm about to say something that I would never say again. Before I say that, thank you guys for being in the chat and on our podcast. If you want to put your live chat, we will put it in there. So drop that live chat in there, and we will put it on the screen and answer any questions. If you, what do you think? What do y'all think about the rankings? Because I'm about to say something I don't want anybody hearing, and I hope Chris Thomas not in here or Remy in here to hear what I'm about to say. But it's no way Tennessee's better than Ohio State. There's no way Tennessee is better than Ohio State.
They beat the number 1 team in the country, though.
I don't care. They were ranked number 6 when they did that, and I get it. But it's no way. And I think it's more because now you're able to maneuver them if they can beat Georgia. And they do play them this weekend, and we're going to talk about that. But it's no way they're better than Ohio State. That's a lot of time to say it. It feels weird saying that. But that's weird. And then the same argument that I had before when they picked Clemson over Michigan is Clemson, although I still think they're good, they are not number. I'd rather y'all pick Alabama at 4 in front of Michigan than Clemson. Clemson is literally the most inconsistent team in the top 10 right now. I'm sorry. I think that is not a hot take. I think that is real. I think that is Remy. So what's up, Remy? Thank you for being on. I mean, Tennessee looked pretty good. This is coming from a fan. I think I think you meant to say Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
But I much rather play them over
Alabama or Georgia.
I agree. I don't think this ranking is weird. I was just having this conversation with LaMarcus. Hopefully he get on our podcast one of these days. But I think that's insane. And then if you look at there was a couple of rankings for the if there was a if the playoffs started today rankings, and this is coming from the same the same strand, the college football rankings, and I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. They had TCU over at Michigan, and I was like, huh? So I'm gonna pull that up. But Ray, any other insights on this whole rankings? What is your opinion?
I just don't. I wouldn't have Tennessee that high, but again, they don't care what I think. So this whole all plays into the SEC is better than every other conference. We already know why they do it. They do it because they can. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say Alabama's better than them right now. You can't because they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
So, and Remy just kind of said it himself. He'd rather play Tennessee than Alabama or Georgia. I'm not going to say I disagree with him because I don't. I agree with that. But you can't say Tennessee's not better than Alabama because they beat them. So what are you going to do with them?
Yeah. And it wasn't like Tennessee. All right, Tennessee was running away from the game, but Alabama was coming back in that game. And if it wasn't for a field goal, they would have lost. Let's just say that, So let's say
if
to bring them up, yeah. And I know it's a if. I know it's a huge if or it's a big but, like people like to say. But it's like, how can you have them number one from? Yes, they beat Alabama. Thank you. It's okay. But why can't you just be patient, see how this week can go, and then be able to be like, all right, I'll put you at number one. How can you jump them over Ohio State, even Georgia? Georgia's been playing really well. How can you jump them over those two teams because they beat Alabama? Like that.
They beat the number one ranked team in the country.
Tennessee has beaten 5. That don't matter. I mean, everybody else.
It does though.
It does, but who was the other people they beat? Let's see.
I'm not sure about
that right now.
But I can look at their schedule. I guess you're going to pull it up, so I'll wait till you do that.
I got you. But I don't know, right? I mean, we're going to look at it right now. So they beat Pitt, they beat Florida, Alabama, and LSU. Is that saying much?
Yeah, well, LSU has a good record.
LSU has been doing pretty well. They've been doing better than normal.
They have a good record.
Say it again?
They have a good record.
They do.
I don't think they're that great of a team either, but they have a good record.
Florida
has a pretty good record.
Florida's okay.
Again,
I know they beat
not disagreeing with you.
They beat the Brinks over Kentucky. I can't even say nothing about that. They beat the Brinks over them.
Right.
The Alabama game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I just need one more validation from a.
Here's the question: if Georgia beats Tennessee in a close game, or vice versa, then what do they do with Alabama?
LSU, Florida, Bama, Kentucky, Pitt. Yeah, I just said those. I don't know.
Kentucky's not a great team. Pittsburgh's not a great team.
Yeah,
but
Florida showing their behinds right now.
I mean, Florida has good players. They're not a great team, but they have good players. I just don't. again, I agree. If I had to rank them, honestly, I know you're probably not gonna like this, dude. I would have Ohio State number one right now. I
I'm
would have Ohio State. I would have Georgia. Then I would have Tennessee, Michigan, then Clemson. That would be not my top five.
and like I said, I'd rather have Alabama over Michigan and
I would not
but
rate Alabama over Michigan right now. They're not undefeated. I would have
I
I would probably, like I said, I would have Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee, and I would say Alabama, Michigan, then Alabama, then Clemson if I had to rank them.
I like your ranking. I like it. I
But
like it.
again, they don't care what I think, dude. I'm some schmuck from South Jersey, so
Honestly, man, knowing who they are and doing what they do and their track record alone, I'd rather face all those teams over Bama. I agree. Georgia doesn't worry me. Ooh, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Tennessee, not too much. Not so much. I wouldn't say Georgia won't worry me. Georgia's still Georgia, man. Their defense still pretty good. I wouldn't say
yeah.
that.
Again, I would have Georgia number three right now. I think Georgia is the one team where they should be.
At the end of the day, no one has the resume that Tennessee does. I'll give you that. Stetson Bennett is weak.
No,
Um,
Stetson Bennett stinks, but that's okay.
I'm not gonna go that far, but
No, he does. He's an
oh
he's,
my goodness,
he's an Alabama type quarterback playing at Georgia.
yo, that's funny because we were just talking about Alabama quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's not good, but he looks good in that offense because they run the ball a lot and they have a good defense.
Yeah, I mean, they doing what they need to do. I wouldn't go as far as saying I wouldn't. Don't worry about Georgia like Remy is saying.
No, I would not say that either, but I'm just saying I think Ohio State's better than them. I think um, right now, I think Georgia and Tennessee could be a really interesting game this week. Really could be.
That is a really really good game. I want to see that one because
Yeah,
that's definitely going to be a good one. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's at night.
I would assume should be.
Oh, it's at 3:30.
That's a horrible time for that kind of a game.
Yeah, I would think a primetime game would be better. He got Tennessee, he got Alabama and LSU this weekend,
LSU is going to
and
get steamrolled this weekend.
what else? Other good ones we got. That's pretty much it. But we'll definitely talk about that afterwards. But I just wanted to talk about the rankings real quick and what you guys thought about it. I just thought it was was gonna be weird. So just a weird ranking for at least a game before the Georgia and Tennessee game. You put them number one. Okay. But hey, if Tennessee beats Georgia, I am okay with them being number one. Okay, but I don't know. He's Georgia's weakness. Let's be serious. No, Georgia
He
has
is, but it's hard to
issues.
say that right now, coming off of how well he played last year in the championship rounds.
And Georgia have other issues too. It's not just him. The offensive line is not that great, and the pass rush is not as good as it was last year. At least it's still good, but it's not as good as it was last year. So,
Yeah.
um, they still don't going through some growing pains over there. Down here at least. But let's get to our next topic, and we're going to talk about Ohio State, man. Ohio State pitting it on Penn State late in the game. So this is the segment where we kind of talk about the games for the week. And Ohio State wins Penn State. I'm trying to get the score now. 44-31. This game was looking pretty good at one point. I would say at halftime it was 13-14. Penn State got two drives in the second quarter to, put them up by one. But yeah, it was a shooting match in the fourth quarter, and Ohio State get 28 points in the fourth quarter. ridiculous. They had 2 sacks, fumble calls, recovered things like that helped them out and stuff like that. So, Ray, what was your take on this game?
I think Penn State played better in the first half than I thought they were going to, and they hung in there for a while. But in the end, Ohio State's a more talented team, so they kind of showed.
Yeah, I mean, once Ohio State scored that defensive touchdown on a fumble, I think that's when everything kind of like started unraveling from Tumo Lau.
Yeah.
How do you say his name? He had an incredible game, man. I can't deny how good he played. And for Ohio State defense that, we all kind of looked at as like they're not doing that well. This man had 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, a touchdown. He was everywhere in this game. He was literally their defense. What's your take on him, Ray?
He's very good. Ohio State needs to get a better pass rush. I think that they don't get to the quarterback enough for me to be. If they had a primo pass rusher like they have in the past, I would actually say they will be a legit champion. I think they will be in the playoffs. They have a shot to win it all. They do. Yeah. If they had a better pass rush, I'd have them a little bit. I'd be more afraid of them though.
Yeah, and I feel like in this game, Ohio State came out with a better offensive balance. I feel like they've been trying to been a little bit more throw heavy, and this game they were a little bit more balanced. Stroud only had 1 touchdown. He did have 354 yards for 26 and 33 attempts, but the running game, Henderson, 78 yards, and you'll look at 78 yards, not a lot, but 2 touchdowns. They was running the ball a lot more than normal. Where you have our guy Sean Clifford, who me and you have our feelings about him, and people was praising him last couple of weeks and stuff like that. Man threw 3 interceptions in this game, which did not help the team at all.
He's not very good. I don't care what anybody says. He's not good. Again, if Ohio State got a little bit more pressure on him, he wouldn't have been as good as he was.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not very good. He's not. I mean, I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to debate that with people anymore. I'm tired of Penn State fans. He's not good. Okay.
Oh man. But let's get to the rest of week 9 before we move on, and let's talk about a couple of other games. One game I want to talk in particular because I did not see this coming, right? Coastal Carolina playing Marshall. First time they got to play each other, and we were went into the Sun Belt. When they got into the Sun Belt, and if you guys remember our infamous podcast when we was like all confused on what happened with what happened with Marshall and what conference they were, and they moved to the Sun Belt all of a sudden, and it wasn't a close game at first. I mean, they came back a little bit, but Coastal Carolina coming out with a 21-0 game. Ray, what was your thoughts on that game?
I think that Coastal Carolina is a good team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very disappointed in how Marshall has really played the last 3 weeks. They have really good football.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very disappointing. I mean, I thought Marshall was going to be playing a lot better this year. I mean, they came out pretty good. And like you said, the last 3 weeks just been
very like not focused. A lot of penalties, not playing good football. Very surprising. It really was. I really expected them. And it was like you would think they beat Notre Dame earlier this year, that would have propelled them into being a really good team. But it seems like it was not a physical game, but I think that the people saw Notre Dame really played really well against them in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. Found balance. If you're a balanced team, Marshall's going to have a hard time defending you because their front 4 is not very good.
Yeah.
The linebackers are okay. The secondary is solid, but their front 4 is not very good, and I think that's going to hurt them down the road. I mean, you got to either be stout up front or you got to get pressure on the quarterback. They don't do either really well. So,
yeah, no, I agree. And the crazy thing is that Grayson McCall, 14 for 24, 98 yards, and 1 touchdown. He barely threw in that game. And when he did throw, it wasn't that efficient. But yet, they still won the game.
That's what I mean, though. You would think with his stats, how did they win the game? Because they didn't get enough pressure on him to really make him make any mistakes.
Correct.
Their offense was just balanced enough to keep them guessing.
Mm-hmm.
And Marshall's offense is a 3 yards and cloud of dust type offense, and they don't really have any player makers to push the ball downfield.
Yeah.
Their tight ends are good, but that's about it, really. So if you can neutralize that and take away the middle of the field, you can beat Marshall. I wish Notre Dame would have known that. And, honestly, the last 3 weeks I've seen that if you can push them around a little bit up front and find balance, you can beat them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that too, and it's crazy that again, Coastal didn't have the greatest game and still was able to beat them in that fashion. Coastal Carolina definitely have a big game this weekend, and we'll definitely talk about that in a second. But I want to talk about your team, Ray. Notre Dame beating up on Syracuse. Now, you were talking on very highly on Syracuse. I actually rooted for them, not rooted for them, but I voted for them to win the game. And Notre Dame looked pretty good. And the funny thing is, their number one receiver only had 3 catches. He had 7 targets. We only had 3 catches. Payne, 9 for 19, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ray, we talk about this too. Same thing with Grayson McCall, man. He didn't do much in his game, but they still found a way to win.
Remember how I said Sean Clifford stinks? Compared to Drew Pine, he's Peyton Manning, okay?
Oh my God.
Man, Drew Pine struggled, man.
Yeah.
He really struggled in this game. Notre Dame found a run game, ran the ball for, I got this written down here somewhere, ran the ball for 246 yards. They really played, their offensive line played probably their best game of the year, to be honest with you.
No, for real. And the fact that 2 of your running backs shared carries for both of them got 20 attempts says a lot, man. And 3 touchdowns between the two with Estime. How you say his name, Ray? Estime and Diggs, man. They ran all over Syracuse. Who again, I think Syracuse got a really good defense, but man, they cannot stop your guys, man. Also on the flip side, I wanna give a shout out to Gaston. That tight end is good. I think people need to start looking into him a little bit more. He's a good tight end.
You talking about Michael Meyer?
No. On Syracuse. Gaston.
Or Rondé Gatson. He's actually a wide receiver.
Oh, wide receiver. Sorry. But he's really good.
No, he's a stud. I was just actually at the game this weekend. Hold on.
We got to highlight that. Ray went to a game.
And they won.
Let's go.
Well, I was saying to Ryan and a couple other people as I was leaving, I figured out what I got to do. I can only go watch Notre Dame play somewhere else. I can't go to our stadium and watch them play because every time I do, they lose. But I mean, I was in what used to be the Carter Dome. I don't even know what they call it now. It's and if you ever have a chance to go see a game there, I suggest you do it.
It's a nice stadium.
There's not a bad seat in the house, man. I sat all over the stadium, and there's not a bad seat in the house.
It's JM Wireless Dome. JMA Wireless Dome.
Oh yeah. Well, there's not a bad seat in the house, man. There's really not.
Really?
I was from all the way up to the front of the press box, all the way to the last seat in the stadium. There's not a bad seat in the house. There's not.
That's cool, man. I gotta check them out.
There's not a bad seat there, man. And loud, wow.
Some of those stadiums carry.
Well, the thing about that is there's a dome. So, and it's not one of them big. No, it's a dome where like it's right on top of you, and man, it was loud, like
awesome.
Crazy loud. That was great. The best thing about it though, there's like 2-3 minutes left in the game, and the only fans in the stadium were Notre Dame fans. It was phenomenal.
Really?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Yay! Y'all travel? Y'all travel really well.
What's that?
I said y'all travel really well.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When Syracuse had the ball, and when their fans were there, they outnumbered us 3-1, without a doubt. Maybe even more than that. But and their fans are loud, like really, really loud.
I mean, the New Yorkers
and good fans. No, well, not New York City, New York.
I know.
Yeah. Like I've been to see the Miami play Buffalo. Excuse me. Hello.
Well, Ray got to take an emergency call, but yeah, that was a great game by Notre Dame, and I say Notre Dame's gonna lose. So, hey man, Notre Dame is 5-3. They've been rolling some games. Let's look at some of the games they played, man, because we all know they lost this.
They do not, but we will be there.
Who did this to? Ohio State in the first game. They lost to Marshall the next game. They ran through 3 teams: Cal, UNC, BYU, which weren't bad teams. They did lose the ugly one to Stanford. They won in UNV and Syracuse. They just beat them. They do play. No, it's good. They do play. Y'all do play Clemson this weekend. We're gonna talk about that.
We are.
You guys been doing some good stuff. I mean, that lost the
Stanford game was embarrassing.
That was definitely embarrassing.
That was a stinker.
And then the Marshall game, we kind of expected, like, not expected y'all to lose, but we expected Marshall to be a good team, and they handled y'all really well. But we thought Marshall was a really good team, and they could still be a good team. But I just the way they lost to Coastal Carolina this weekend was not convincing. But yeah, any final thoughts on that one, Ray?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jerome. I just got another message, but that's fine. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, any last statements you want to talk about?
No, the game was phenomenal. Again, we had a great time. I was able to pretty much sit wherever I wanted to in the stadium. So that part of it was really cool.
That's cool.
But I wish Notre Dame would have found their offensive line has played way better the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice to see that a little earlier in the season, but it's still a work in progress. They're not extremely talented up front. They just got like workman type guys this year. We'll see how it goes. I'm not saying there's no talent. There's always a little talent. Notre Dame offensive line. They brought Harry Issa back to coach the offensive line, and he's done a great job in like the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's just guys getting comfortable playing with each other, to be honest with you.
Definitely. All right. Last game I want to talk about, because this game was embarrassing. Oklahoma State versus Kansas State. Woo! 48-0. K-State. Now, guys know how much I love K-State. We talked about last week when we made our picks on this game. I wasn't expecting this, Ray. That was a beatdown. And you can't say it was Sanders' fault, because he did get injured, but he didn't get injured to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was a tough game for me because I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah,
we did watch some highlights because I was like, literally, we drove there up to Syracuse Friday, watched the Notre Dame game Saturday afternoon, and then left right from the stadium to come home.
Yeah.
So everything I kind of like listened to recaps of everything.
Yeah.
When I heard the quarterback got hurt, I just assumed that had a part in it. It didn't.
Yeah.
They just got manhandled up front the whole game.
Well, it was so bad. I mean, we had literally their offense was 2 players. It really was, honestly, if you really think about it. Will Howard, 21 for 37, 296 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had an amazing game. And then our dude, Deuce Vaughn, with 158 rushing yards and a touchdown. He was looking crazy. He had some big burst running and plays. The offensive line was manhandling Oklahoma State. And again, I like Oklahoma State. I thought there was going to be this was going to be a good game. I was not expecting a 48-0 type of game, right?
You and me both. I did not expect that. Again, it kind of just steamrolled on them. I think K-State got out to a big lead and they just kept the pedal to the metal, as they say. So
definitely. No, they did. So, yeah, I wanted to kind of point that out before we got to our next topic. All right, so let's get to Ray. Ray, I finally got a winning week. It took me a minute. I finally got one. So I was 7-4. Ray, you were 6-5. But you are still one game ahead of me. So 74-59 to 76. I'm sorry, 73 and 60. Right, one game ahead of me still. We're very close this year, man. I was not expecting this, especially like the last few years when we'll be doing this. And by this time, you running away with it right now, and I'm just praying that you slip up and have a 0 something type of week or something. But we're pretty close. I'm getting closer, and I do plan on closing the gap this week, right? I plan on it.
I hope you don't, but that's fine. I mean, I've said before, I am not having a good year predicting games.
Honestly, we both aren't. Honestly, and it started off really well with us, and we talked about this last week. Started off really well with us, but the last couple of weeks, man, we've been striking out. So let's see how we do this week, man. And the first game we're gonna talk about it's a good one as it is. Coastal Carolina going to wait. Make sure I'm saying this right, because I think it's Coastal Carolina going to App State, or no, Coastal Carolina is home. But Coastal Carolina is home. They're playing App State. App State is favored by 3. Ray, who taking in this one?
Hold on a second, though, Jerome. I'm sorry. My phone is still going crazy over here. I just turned the volume down. That's all.
Gotcha.
I have Appalachian State in that game. I mean, I have to take out App State. So,
yeah, that was hard, man, because Coastal Carolina is 7-1. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not their strongest season. They are just coming off a good win against Marshall. Marshall did start coming back a little bit, but it was over before it even started. App State is always that tough team, but they dropping the ball a little bit with certain teams this year. This one's a close one for me. The line I'm not particularly okay with. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than it is. I'm going to take Coastal Carolina slightly, and mainly because I don't want them boys killing me because I'm about to do some interviews with them. So, Coastal Carolina is for me this week. My logic is funny.
You know what? Coastal's on the road. They're at home.
Yeah, Coastal's at home, and
underdogs.
Yeah,
and App State is that team usually. So I mean, I'm gonna stick with them.
Yeah, they actually play tomorrow night, so we'll definitely see them very, very soon and see how that goes. Next game we're gonna do Florida versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is favored by 3.5 at home. Who you taking right there, Ray?
I'm gonna take Texas A&M.
Okay.
I think they're a slightly more talented roster. I wish they were more consistent. I do, but we'll see.
I'm gonna go in Florida. Only because the line is very close, and Texas A&M is a very disappointing team this year. I mean, oh man, I feel like I trust Florida just slightly, but both teams been very disappointing. Yes, you're right, Ray. I do think Texas A&M have the better talent, but Florida is stronger at quarterback. I think maybe. I don't know, dude. It's such a toss up with this game. This game is such a toss up to me.
It is. It's a tough game to call. It really is.
And the fact that Florida it did just lose Brenton Cox. I don't know if you guys heard about that story, but he's preparing for the NFL draft now. Their linebacker. So I don't know how that's gonna take. Maybe they might rally around it. I don't know, but it is only one guy. I don't like to speculate on just one guy leaving the program too, but that does hurt a little bit. But I still don't trust Texas A&M that much this year, so I'm gonna stick with what I got. But again, I would not be surprised if Ray was right on this one at all. So, all right, let's get to the next one. Purdue versus Iowa. Purdue is at home. They are favored by 4.5. Ray, who you taking?
I'm going to take Purdue. That's another tough game for me to call. I think Purdue has been a little bit more consistent than Iowa, so I'll take Purdue.
Yeah, I'm going to take Purdue as well. Iowa is just a little disappointing for me this year. They're not as good as I thought they was going to be. I'm not thinking a world-beating kind of team, but just kind of looking at how they were playing when we played them, we being Michigan, the way we played them, the way they've been playing other teams, it just don't seem like the same type of mouth, hard, gritty defense kind of team anymore. They're I don't know. I feel like they're going kind of through an identity crisis. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
definitely weird for them.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
No, definitely. All right, let's game. We're gonna do Baylor versus Oklahoma. I believe Oklahoma is at home. They're favored by 3.5. Right, who you taking?
I'm going to take Oklahoma. I don't know why even. I just am. I mean,
I love that.
I honestly don't know why, except for favored by 3.5. Every time I pick against Baylor, it seems like they do the other. They go, if I take Baylor, they lose. If I pick against Baylor, they win. So I'm torn that way.
That's exactly what happened last week, right? Yeah. You picked Texas Tech over Baylor. I picked Baylor. I was right on that aspect. I'm gonna go with you though. Oklahoma. I feel like Oklahoma's better, and these are two teams with not good defenses right now, unfortunately. I'm gonna give the slight nod to Oklahoma. Yeah. So, all right. Let's get to another. We got another good game. We got Syracuse versus Pitt. Pitt is at home. Syracuse just coming off that big loss. Pitt is actually favored by 3.5 at home. Who you taking, Ray?
I'm taking Pittsburgh. You know what?
You don't like this one, do you?
I hate this game. Because I think Syracuse is a better team. I think they're a better coach team. They've been a more consistent team.
Mm-hmm. And for those reasons, I'm taking Syracuse. I'm taking Syracuse.
Well, I'm going to go with you, Jerome. I'm taking Syracuse also.
Are you flipping? Nice.
No, I'm flipping. I look at the line and it says Pittsburgh 3.5 at home. It started out at 3, so then I went to 3.5 in 2 days. I'm like,
but this is the thing.
I watched Syracuse play really good football last week for like 2.5 quarters.
They played two really good teams.
Yeah,
not so really good teams, but they played very strong against a Clemson team, which they was on the verge of winning that game. It working really well. Then you had a Notre Dame team, which is a good team. They lost to them, and like you said, for a few quarters they were playing well. I don't think Pittsburgh. I would honestly. I think this might be the most lopsided line on here, honestly. I probably wouldn't go crazy with the line, but I might go like Syracuse 4, dude. I would do something like that.
I would, you know what? Because Pittsburgh's at home, I would say Syracuse 2.5 should be favored by like 2.5, maybe 3 points.
Syracuse is a good
That's what I
team,
don't
like,
understand. Why Pittsburgh's favorite? I don't understand.
exactly. I don't know. We'll look back on it on Friday and see how this go, right, and see if it's still the same. But yeah, I don't. That line I did not get.
Yeah.
Again, it might just because Syracuse coming off of 2 losses and they're not really looking into how it looks and how Syracuse was before the 2 losses that they just had. But Syracuse is a really good team. Do not get that wrong,
They
man.
are a good team, and they lost a really close game to Clemson. They played a lot better against Clemson than they did against Notre Dame, especially in the second half of each game.
Yeah.
So we'll
I
see.
agree.
You know,
I agree. I'm gonna skip over a couple of games. So I want to say those for last. But we're gonna go. Oh, this is funny. This is hilarious. But we're gonna get into that in a second. Texas versus K State, right? K State. I'm sorry. Texas is favored by 2.5. K State is at home. Who you taking?
see, I'm gonna pick against Kansas State again. It's gonna want to bite me in the rear end, but I'm gonna take Texas.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Texas too. They had a really good game this last week, but Texas is different. It's just a different animal, and I think that if they keep to the formula that they've been doing, is trying to balance their offense because yeah, Ewers is really good, but then they have a really good running back, and I think that they need to lean on him a little bit more, but then like do the play action stuff like that. I think as long as you do that and don't let K State's offensive line manhandle defense like the past team just did.
Yeah.
I think Texas will be good. So I'm gonna take Texas here.
Okay.
I do like K State again, and I did pick against them last week, so I'm going against them twice in a row. But I'm gonna give the nod to Texas as well.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to your game. This is a good one for you guys. Clemson versus Notre Dame. Clemson is favored by 3.5. Right? Who you taking?
Man, this is a tough game for me too.
And y'all are at home. This was a good game. You probably should have went to. Maybe
I was,
maybe not.
no,
Maybe not.
originally we were going to go to this game.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, because this was a plan. Everybody had big plans of going to the Clemson game, but man, you know what? I'm going to be a homer and take Notre Dame.
I was not expecting it. The way you was just debating it, I wasn't expecting it. I am gonna go with Clemson, but right, if you're right in this game and Clemson loses, I'm going to rage next week about this rankings because I don't care. Like again, we said this a few weeks ago. Clemson has not played their best game, their best football. They've just been so inconsistent.
That's the funny thing about it, though, Jerome. As well as Notre Dame played this week against Syracuse, and they played really well, there was still poor play on their team, on their side of the ball.
Yeah.
Drew Pine stunk. There were mistakes all over it at Notre Dame. If they clean them up, I think they can play with Clemson. I really do right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm going to get bit in the rear end by saying that, and I'm probably going to get smoked this weekend, but I want Notre Dame to build on what they did last week, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
do that against Clemson. Clemson's offensive line is not that great.
Yep.
Get to the quarterback. Don't let DJ do anything. Make them make a quarterback change again, and then and your defense is solid. The secondary is not very good. I mean, I shouldn't say that. The front four is not great. The Notre Dame secondary is good. So minimize their plays downfield and see what they do.
No, I agree with that, Ray. And I think that y'all definitely have a chance to play them. I mean, Clemson almost lost to Syracuse. Y'all just beat Syracuse. And I'm not saying like that hierarchy thing, like, oh, this player played that player, that team played this team, and that played this team. So that means this team should automatically beat that team. I'm not doing all that. But I will say the inconsistency with Clemson, I mean, if they had to bring Klubnik back in, it's a wrap. Like you guys are gonna win this game. So I do see that, but Clemson is the more. I do like Clemson's roster better, and I do think they have really good, coaching. The fact that they made that change to get Clemson that spark to beat Syracuse. That tells me a lot about their coaching, I do respect them for doing that so they can win the game. So I'm gonna give them Clemson because I do like the coaching a little bit better, right? At least right now. I think Notre Dame still has some time to kind of figure things out. It's their first year with that coaching staff, but right now Clemson
what
better
else
coaching.
like? This is the first game that Marcus Freeman where he was not listening to his coordinators this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was like because Tommy Reese has not done a great job coaching the offense. Let's call it what it is. He's not done a great job. He's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He wanted to make some changes during the game where Marcus Freeman was like, "No, we're going with what we have out here. Let's do this. We're good. Let's just do that." Now I'm hoping that I'm hoping Marcus Freeman builds on. I like Marcus Freeman a lot. I think he's a very good defensive mind. I think he's a great guy and he's a good recruiter. But in the end, every coach is judged for one thing: wins, losses. And that's all there is to it. Yep. So I want him to take control of the whole team now, and let's get it done, please.
Yep. Hey man, I like the philosophy, and we said right before this game, man. Notre Dame start running the ball like they should. They're gonna be good. And 40 rushing between two running backs. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, let's get to. We got 3 more games real quick. We're gonna get to Wake Forest versus NC State. NC State. I'm sorry. Wake Forest is favored by 4. NC State is at home. Who you taking, Ray?
What was that game? What game? I'm sorry, Jerome. What game was that?
Wake Forest and NC State. Wake Forest is favored by 4.
I'm taking Wake Forest in that game.
I am too, but I like this game. I think
it's a good game, and I think the rosters are very, very close as far as talent wise. I just think that Wake Forest is just a better coach team right now. I do. So
no, I agree. I like it. Hartman's doing his thing right now. He's playing really well. And we're going some great stuff. So I think, I like what he's doing now. I really do. And as far as the defense is playing pretty well. Like you said, the talent level on these teams are very close. I think this is going to be a good game. I think this is a fun game to watch, actually. I really do. So, and that's a night game, so I'll definitely be watching it. Let's get to our last 2 games, and I wanted to say these for last because one of them is very comical, very, very comical. But we're gonna get to that in a second. But the first one, LSU versus Alabama. Alabama is favored by 13.5. They are away. Ray, I think I know who you're picking, but are you picking?
What's that?
LSU versus Bama. Who you taking? Should I just write it down? Should I just write it down?
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama, dude. Come on. Are you kidding me?
So I picked this game because LSU's been on a hot streak, but y'all playoff dudes did something wrong. This is more about you playoff committee guys. See, you left Bama behind some teams, and Bama feeling a little disrespected right now. And when did Bama feel disrespected, especially when Nick Saban feel disrespected, they're a dangerous team. And LSU, Hashi been good. Y'all been doing really well. I'm sorry you have to be the victim in this. I really do. Y'all been doing some good stuff. Y'all been playing really well under Brian Kelly. I know Ray don't want to hear that. Y'all been playing really well. But Nick Saban is coming for that ass. I'm sorry. Dude, he's mad. Like, you can't
Are you trying to make me feel sorry for Brian Kelly?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying. All right, let's move on. I don't think we need to talk about that one not too much. Last but not least, the game of the week. We talked about it. We hinted at it. Georgia versus Tennessee. Number 1 versus number 3. Now, Georgia's at home, and Georgia is favored by 8 to the number 1 team in the playoff system. Georgia favored by 8. Now, Ray, are you going by the lines today, or are you going by?
No, I'm going by lines. I usually always do, except for the Clemson Notre Dame game. But here's the thing: the line in this game, when you went on your rant earlier about Tennessee, where Tennessee was ranked, it should have led off with that.
No, and Ray, I did that on purpose. I purposely did that. How
could you have the number 1 team in the country playing the number 3 team in the country, and they're 8-point underdogs?
I did that on purpose, Ray. I literally didn't mention it on purpose. I'm happy you didn't leak that either.
Okay.
I wanted to get to this game, and this is why I put this on here. This is literally why I put this on here. You have the number 1 team, but you also don't think they're gonna beat Georgia. What? Why rank them number 1?
Exactly. Why not make them 3 or 4 where they probably should be right now, and then make Georgia number 2 where they probably should be right now, and then that would 8-point line would still be obscene, but at least it makes a little more sense.
8-point line, dude.
Maybe the guys that make the rankings and the guys that make the line should get together and decide which one we should know. What should we be thinking right now? Because right now I'm thinking the Tennessee is going to get smoked.
Yeah. That's how, dude. If I was a Tennessee team and I really believed in my team, I would be all over this bet. I'll be all over it, especially if you have faith in your team right now. If I was a Tennessee fan, dude, if Michigan was in Tennessee's spot right now, and with all the time they've been doing, and we just beat Alabama, and we have such a talent, and our quarterback is Heisman runner-up right now, and we're about to play a Georgia team that just came off a championship run last year, but don't look as good this year, and lost a lot of talent, and this and that. And I had that much faith in my team. I'm putting money on this game. So Tennessee fans, if you're listening to this, I will put money in this game. I would totally put money in this game because you're feeling disrespected right now. You're number 1, and I don't personally think you should be there. But you're number 1 now. You've been told you're number 1 team. You're playing a number 3 team, and you're supposed to be getting smoked by 8 right now. And they're home. So it's like, it's not, I mean, the line is not as bad as a little, but still, I would pay money on this game. I don't know about you guys. I would.
Who would you bet? Who would you bet on?
Tennessee. If I was a Tennessee fan, I'll bet on my team. Tennessee.
Okay, right.
Well, dude, you're number 1 in the rankings right now.
Do you think that the guys that make the lines know that?
Oh yeah.
They're hoping Tennessee fans load up on Tennessee too, and they're probably helping the Georgia fans load up on Georgia too.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
This way, they make their money. They're good.
Oh yeah, this is gonna happen. So
you're gonna have 50-50 draw.
Especially now with the rated ranking it's definitely gonna happen. I wouldn't be surprised that line moves some type of way. Maybe a little bit closer. I don't think it's gonna flip to Tennessee, but I think it might get a little closer because the rankings came out just yesterday. That these lines generally I look at them on Monday. They do move between Monday and Wednesday. Friday is like me and Ray said, Friday is probably the best indicator of what they really feel.
It is
by that time, but yeah, man.
I would love to see if the line does move between now and this time starts, because that would give me a better indicator of what people really think.
No, I agree, Ray. And I'm very, very curious. Again, 8-point difference on a team that is number 1 number 1 team right now. I did that on purpose.
It doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, it just tells you. I mean, again, when I get into this thing about like, okay, if you think Alabama, I'm sorry, if you think Georgia is a better team, which basically coming in the season, we all thought Georgia was a better team than Tennessee. We did, even though I think if you remember, I did say that Tennessee was going to be a top 5 team this year. I did. I expected that.
Call that.
But this is going to be, if they lose this game by 3 or win the game in a close fashion, then they deserve to be the number 1 team in the country. And if they get smoked, they don't deserve to be in the top 5.
Definitely. No, I agree.
Plus, we've seen Alabama crap the bed before in seasons. Texas A&M a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. I forget. In every couple years, you'll lose a game they shouldn't lose. And let's say it's not like they lost big to Tennessee. It was a good game where everybody just was like a track meet, which you don't see Alabama usually get involved in usually.
Definitely. So, no, I agree. So, quick question, Ray. We both got Georgia. Before we get to your rants, we both got Georgia winning this game, right? Which means that Tennessee will be losing, and we both got Alabama winning. So if it goes the way we think it's gonna go, where do you see Tennessee and Alabama by the end by Sunday night? It comes out every Tuesday, so maybe Tuesday night. Sorry.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, Jerome. I lost my thought.
Right.
I keep getting stupid phone messages now. So.
No, that's fine. So if the games go the way we think they're gonna go, which means both of us got Georgia and both of us got Alabama winning, which means Tennessee's gonna lose, the number 1 team. Where are we placing Tennessee and Alabama after when the rankings come out, which I think is every Tuesday?
Tennessee will fall to where Alabama is now, and Georgia will leapfrog out Alabama, and Alabama will be like 3rd.
So okay, because I think
they won't leapfrog. They shouldn't leapfrog Ohio State, and they can't put them over Georgia because Georgia just manhandled the team to beat them. But they'll put them in the top 5 because it's Alabama.
Yeah, so I would say, if that happens the way we think, Georgia have to be number 1. Have to be. I'll pay Ohio State 2. 3, I will probably still put Tennessee there. If they win, number 5. Wait, no, sorry. Did I do that right? Who's on? Who am I missing? Wait. I'm missing somebody. All right. So I got Georgia number 1. I got Ohio State number 2. I said I might still pick Tennessee 3. Who's the other team I'm missing? Oh, Clemson. So who we got? Do we got Clemson winning? I have Clemson winning. You have Clemson losing.
If Clemson loses Notre Dame, you'll be out of the top 10.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Whoa. Top 10. I don't know about that, Ray. They might be like.
Where's Notre Dame right now? They're not a top 20 team.
They're unranked. But you got them too high, and that'd be their first loss of the year.
You cannot lose to an unranked team and remain in the top 10, dude. You can't.
I don't know. Clemson's currently number 3, though.
Yeah, they're number 3 in a fugazi season where they haven't played that well all season.
And this is what I'm saying. Why are they over Michigan right now?
Because you're Clemson.
I get that.
Well,
and
why is Alabama
anybody? I get that too.
Well, it's funny how that does enter the equation. But again, Michigan plays it's like the Eagles. You play who's in front of you, and if you handle your business, you're fine. And if you don't, then you're not. That's all.
Exactly.
I don't get involved in who they played. I don't think that Michigan's played a great schedule. I don't think Alabama's played a great schedule either, though.
No.
So I mean,
we don't.
No. So what are we talking about then?
Yeah. So I don't know, but I will pick. If Clemson does win, I'll still keep them. Since they are 4 already, I'll keep them at 4. Don't agree with it. I'll pick Alabama. I might have to leapfrog Alabama over Michigan. Might
Well,
have
they
to.
will. No, I'm not telling you where I would rank them. I'm telling you where they will rank them. Yes, they will absolutely put Alabama over Michigan, without a doubt.
Even if Michigan wins.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what these guys are thinking because they don't think. They don't. I hate to
Think
say.
rationally.
I hate to say this, man. They don't watch games. They look at
Yeah.
scores.
Yeah, no, they do. They do.
I mean, I can
So-
say it. That's what they do. They don't watch the game. They look at the score.
Yeah, but I can't. If Tennessee loses to Georgia, I can't take them out of the top 5. Still, I think I'll still leave them at 3. They're still a good team, and like my rant about them being number
No,
one.
I think if Alabama, if Tennessee loses to Georgia, Tennessee will fall to 6 where Alabama is, and Alabama will take Georgia's spot, and the other 2 teams will move up ahead of them. I'd almost bet money on that.
That's interesting. One of these days is gonna happen. So we're gonna get to this.
Well,
But since Ray's on there, we're gonna get to Ray's rant. But since Ray's occupied, we're gonna make it Jay's rant, and I'm gonna take off the glasses for this one because I need to be a little serious on this.
For 6 building, right?
Can we stop, guys? Can we please?
I'm sorry.
First and foremost,
I apologize. Yeah.
it's fine, Ray. I'm gonna do a quick Jay's rant, and I'm gonna let you do your rant. But I just want to say this. First and foremost, I took the glasses off. We're being serious on this one. Rest in peace to rapper. Take off Enemigos. Can we stop the gun violence, man? We got too many people dying. It's getting ridiculous. And the whole thing with it's a rap thing. It's not really a rap thing. It's a gun thing. Can we stop that? And I'm not saying that rap doesn't necessarily plays a thing into it. It might. You take it how you want, but it's a gun thing. We need to do something with these guns, man. We're losing too many lives. It's getting ridiculous. I think it's a combination of social media and we're just coming off a pandemic, so everybody's still on like an edge right now. A lot of things going on, so we need to really stop the gun violence, man, and any kind of mental health problems you may be having with anger or whatever, please get help because we need to stop killing each other. We really need to stop killing each other. I don't care what was said, what was done. It does not equate to people losing their lives. And the way it happened, as far as my information I know, and I'm not the expert, I don't know the whole situation, but what I'm hearing is it was right after a bowling game, and it was a little altercation from them. But from what I seen with the video that is out, it did not justify for somebody to lose their life. Can we stop? Please stop with this. It's getting ridiculous. I'm just going to leave it there. Please, guys, we need to do something with this gun violence. Please get mental health. Please do something. And if there's anybody with some kind of authority figure or whatever, please, let's reevaluate the gun laws. Please do something because this is getting out of hand. Please. I don't know what we can do. I don't know how we can do it, but it just something has to be done. Ray, I don't know if you want to have a take on that. You can.
No, I'm going to use fun drum.
You can start your right after this.
I had 2 subjects I was debating on which one I would have ran on. So I'll continue with yours and then I'll end up with mine. It's just simple. Until they rip up the Second Amendment and write it to fit today's gun trafficking that goes on, we're fighting a losing battle. Period. I know people will be offended by that, and I don't care anymore. Unless you rip up the Second Amendment and rewrite it to fit today's gun trafficking, it's never going to change. Period. Okay? When they wrote the Constitution, it took you 3 minutes to load a gun to shoot one person. Now in 3 minutes, you can take out a whole school.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's disgusting.
If we change the gun laws and it saves one child, it's fucking worth it, okay? One child, not 30 or 100 or 300. One, it's worth it.
I agree.
Okay, now do a little bit of a lighter issue. I drive to work every day. It's very frustrating because I see people that pay way too much attention to their phone and not the traffic in front of them.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is not anywhere near the issue that gun law. It's not, and I'm not going to try to act like it is, but it's all this. It's almost tied together in a way because gun violence, people that like I have people that will cut me off, and then I won't even say nothing to them. I just look at them and kind of shake my head. Well, last week I had a guy pull me over and started screaming at me. Well, what you going to do? What you going to do? What you going to do? I'm not going to do anything because I want to get home to my family tonight in one piece and without a bullet in me. Okay? But pay attention to where you're driving. Obey the laws and the traffic lines in the road, and you won't have to worry about what you're going to do.
No, I agree with that, Ray. Yeah, and you guys know I didn't mention this online, but I just in a car accident a few weeks ago as well. So please make sure you're paying attention to the roads, man. It's getting crazy out here, especially in the Georgia Atlanta area. I'm seeing car crashes everywhere. So please, guys, be safe out there. Pay attention to the road. Not only for your own safety, but other people's safety as well. So gonna end it there. I hate to end it in this kind of fashion, but I just think it's something I just had to get off my chest. And condolences to the Migos and the family of take off. I don't remember his full real name, but again, I don't care who you are. It's not worth taking a life in that kind of fashion. So please, guys.
Can I add one more thing, Jerome?
Go ahead, Ray.
John Kennedy was killed in 1963 with a gun that some jerk off bought in the freaking mail. That could be first and foremost. If you don't know who's buying these guns, don't let them buy them.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's crazy. So, all right, that's gonna do it for today, guys. I know ending. I just had to say that. So, guys, please make sure you go check us out and listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Make sure you hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And make sure that you hit that like button. Go to that right over there, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It does support us. We do appreciate everybody being here. Shout out to Remy for being in here, and anybody that has a comment that you want to put on here, maybe you want to add on to what we've been talking about today as far as the rankings or the games, or even if you want to talk about maybe some of the rants that we've been talking about, please put your comments down. We do appreciate everybody being on here. Thank you guys for checking us out again. See you guys later. Hope you have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. We love you guys. We want y'all to stay safe, and we want to, other people stay safe as well. So thank you guys again. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you next week. Peace.